Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news, folks. There's some serious buzz swirling around the NFL right now, and it involves one of the most explosive young receivers in the league, Ja'Marr Chase. And yes, I know just the mention of Chase's name gets Giants fans excited because he's the kind of player who could instantly elevate our offense and give Daniel Jones that extra spark we've been craving. Now, rumors are swirling that the Cincinnati Bengals, currently sitting at a less than stellar 4-5 record, might be looking to shake things up before the trade deadline. And it's not just idle chatter. Sources close to the league are whispering that Chase could be on the move, potentially heading straight to the Giants. But why would the Bengals trade Chase? Well, Cincinnati has been battling a serious defensive rebuild this season. They've allowed an alarming 31 points per game through the first 9 weeks of 2025, which is a clear sign that their defense isn't holding up. And with the Bengals, defense ranked as one of the worst in the league, allowing 40 sacks, the second worst mark in the NFL. They're clearly in a position where they need to make some tough decisions. The front office is feeling the pressure to rebuild, not just on defense, but also to free up some cap space to keep their core young stars happy and extend players like Joe Burrow. Now, the trade that's being floated around is pretty significant. The Bengals could be willing to part ways with Chase, a top-tier All-Pro receiver at just 25 years old, in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 draft and a fifth-rounder in 2027, both coming from the Giants. This move would free up around $22 million in cap space for Cincinnati, money they could use to extend Burrow, shore up the offensive line, or even make additional moves before the deadline. It's a bold move, but one that makes sense when you consider the Bengals' current struggles and their future rebuild plans. Adam Schefter was the first to hint at some of this turbulence coming out of Cincinnati, and ESPN's Diana Rossini reports that the Bengals are actively selling, looking to make aggressive moves before the deadline on November 4th. It's reminiscent of the Tyreek Hill trade in 2022, which completely transformed the Kansas City Chiefs' offense, boosting Patrick Mahomes' weapons and making them even more dangerous in the playoffs. Chase, with his ability to stretch defenses and make game-changing plays, could have that same kind of impact with another team, especially a team like the Giants that's been searching for that offensive spark. Now, let's talk about the player himself. Ja'Marr Chase, who's already an All-Pro at just 25, has been lighting up the NFL charts this season. Up until November, Chase has racked up 62 receptions for 845 yards, averaging 13.6 yards per catch, and has scored 7 touchdowns. His PFF grade is sitting at an impressive 87.2, ranking him among the top 5 wide receivers in the league. That's elite production, folks. Chase's ability to run precise routes and hang onto the ball makes him a nightmare matchup for defensive coordinators. His explosiveness is evident in his yards after catch, with an average of 5.4 yards per reception and a significant target share of 21%. He's been a reliable red zone target, especially with his knack for making those big catches in tight coverage. Looking at his career stats so far, Chase has accumulated over 500 yards and 35 touchdowns. His best season was in 2021, when he tallied 529 yards. And despite a shoulder injury that caused him to miss 2 games in Week 5 this year, his efficiency remains high. His EPA per target stands at an impressive 0.36 in 2025, showing that he's not only talented but also extremely effective when he's on the field. Comparing him to Justin Jefferson, Chase adds about +2.4 yards per route versus the league's top wideouts, and he's been a viral sensation on social media for his clutch plays in the red zone. But of course, the Bengals are aware of his value. Their current record isn't great, and their defense isn't helping them climb the standings. They've allowed 40 sacks, the second worst mark in the NFL, and they need to make some serious moves to rebuild. The cap situation isn't ideal either. They currently have only about $5.8 million in cap space, which isn't enough to extend key players like T. Higgins, who carries a $24 million cap hit next season. Trading Chase, whose contract runs through 2027, might be a strategic move to avoid overpaying on a volatile offense that's heavily dependent on Burrow's health and protection. Cincinnati is reportedly eyeing draft picks and young assets, similar to what the Arizona Cardinals did in their own rebuild last year, focusing on acquiring draft capital and building from the ground up. Now turning our attention to the Giants, who are sitting at 2-6 and currently plus 6,000 odds to win the Super Bowl. This kind of move could be a game changer. Adding Chase to our offense would immediately give Daniel Jones a much-needed weapon, especially with the season-ending injury to Neighbors, who was supposed to be a key piece in our passing game. With only 42 receptions for 580 yards this season, Neighbors' absence has really hurt our ability to stretch the field. Chase's presence would instantly improve our vertical attack, forcing defenses to respect the deep ball and opening up more opportunities for our other receivers and the run game. For Daniel Jones, bringing in Chase would be a significant boost. His passer rating is currently at 82.4, but with Chase stretching the field and making plays down the sideline, we could see that number climb. The expected EPA per pass would jump from plus 0.8 to around plus 0.26, which means more efficient, high-impact throws. We're talking about an estimated increase of over 300 yards in the air, a 20% improvement in offensive efficiency, and a real chance to take some heat off Devin Singletary in the run game. Singletary's been doing his part with 680 rushing yards at 4.3 yards per carry, but having a legit deep threat like Chase would keep defenses honest and open up more running lanes. Defensively, the Giants have been a bit inconsistent this year, with just 22 sacks so far. Improving our offense with a weapon like Chase could help us control the clock better and give our defense a breather. Plus, with Brian Daboll's scheme, a deep threat like Chase could generate more play-action opportunities, helping to accelerate our rebuild and put us in better position for a playoff push. Now, let's talk about what this means for the NFC East and the NFL landscape overall. If the Giants were to land Chase, it would not only boost our chances to make a deep playoff run, but could also shift the power dynamics within the division. The Eagles and Cowboys are still considered favorites, but adding a player of Chase's caliber could push us over the top. The Eagles, with their dynamic offense, and the Cowboys, with their solid defense and run game, would have to respect the Giants' newfound firepower. Chase could be the X factor that turns close games into victories and helps us challenge the division leaders. Looking ahead, this move could also influence the Giants' Super Bowl odds, improving them from plus 6,000 to around plus 3,000, especially if Chase can replicate his season-best performances in the playoffs. His ability to make game-changing plays in clutch moments would be invaluable in the postseason. Imagine Chase burning secondaries with his speed, making those deep catches that swing momentum, and helping Daniel Jones engineer game-winning drives. It's exactly the kind of impact that elevates a team from pretender to contender. Of course, all of this hinges on whether the Bengals are truly willing to part with Chase, and if the Giants are willing to part with the draft picks and cap space necessary to bring him in. But if this trade happens, it would be a clear statement that the Giants are serious about making a run. It's a bold move, sure, but sometimes you have to take risks to reach greatness. For the fans, it would mean excitement, hope, and a real shot at making noise in the NFC playoffs. Chase's addition would energize the locker room, excite the fans at MetLife, and give our offense that extra gear to push us deep into January. So in the end, whether it materializes or not, this potential Chase to Giants scenario is exactly what we've been waiting for, a move that could reshape our season and possibly the entire NFC landscape. The Giants are already building a solid foundation, but adding a player like Chase could be the final piece to put us over the top, chasing that Super Bowl trophy we've been dreaming of. The NFL world is watching, and Giants fans, you better get ready for some thrilling times ahead. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think Chase is the missing piece that can finally get us back to the Super Bowl? Would you be willing to see some draft capital go out the door for a shot at glory? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us and to the Giants. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more updates and analysis, so stay tuned for the latest Giants news. We're in this together, and the best is yet to come.